everyone. We're here today with Dane Terry. Dane, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good.
Can you describe what Jupiter's Lifeless Moons is?
So Jupiter's Lifeless Moons, it's a story that I'm telling the audience about this kind of weird zoo working stint I had in Cleveland last winter, and I got kind of pulled into this strange world, and it takes place over one night, where everything kind of happened. It kind of came to a head in that one night. There's conspiracies and there's some gay sex, which is pretty good. And it's all kind of told in the language of movies. Like it's a story that I'm telling, but the pacing and the heartbeat is that of a movie.
You started writing theater pieces because you wanted to create worlds for the songs that you wrote. But I was wondering, before you wanted to write your own songs, can you recall the first song by any other artist that you wanted to build a world around, that you imagined a world for?
Absolutely. Yeah. My friend Jordan O'Jordan, who's still a friend of mine and like a dear friend, and I heard it was actually a whole album. His album, Not Style Nor Season Nor Hard-Handed Lesson was the name of the album. And we had only just met, and I had played one song on it with him, and he dropped that album off on my porch because I was still asleep, hungover, and then he left town, and so I only met him 2 times. The first time and then the second time when we recorded the album. And then I woke up, got coffee, smoked a cigarette, and put the album on when I found it outside, and was floored. And he's the reason that I got started writing songs.
I read that you were a huge sci-fi fan growing up. So what were some of your favorite TV shows and movies? Like, are you a Star Wars or Star Trek person, or do you love everything?
I like both. I'm not picky about which one is better. They both do different things. I'm solidly a Next Generation person, for Star Trek. Not because I dislike the other, iterations, but just the Next Generation was, Picard. I just wanted to like curl up and suckle his man teat. I probably can't say that. I can say that's the internet. Yeah, I can say anything I want. But he's just such you just want him to cuddle you, Captain Picard. Patrick Stewart, call me. But no, I didn't read a lot though. That's the thing that makes me sound really literary when you're like, you liked sci-fi, and I wasn't actually. I was a trashy kid. It was just TV and movies.
So even if you have become like very much a New York artist, most of your art is inspired by Ohio. And I wondered if, putting your hometown and your home state into art makes you feel like you're home in any way.
Well, I definitely don't feel like I don't think I use it as like a comforting mechanism, if that's what you're asking. I think that it's more that it just comes out because it's who I am. And I was actually adamant about this. My first show, Bird in the House, which premiered at La Mama in 2015, my first show, that was about my childhood, and that kind of flowed. All the songs flowed through me in a way. I was like, I had to get them out. And I just turned 30. That's what happens. You turn 30 and you're like, blah, 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 your childhood. But this show, I was like, I'm not setting it in Ohio. Absolutely not. No, sir. But then something happened and it ended up. But I'm in a different city this time. So there you go.
What art by other artists makes you feel like home?
TV sitcoms. Absolutely. Like if I were to watch Roseanne right now, that's a sitcom I grew up watching with my family. So which is coming back, by the way. I just found out. It's weird. That's like surreal to me. But yeah, I like that. That honestly makes me feel great. Golden Girls. I like TV sitcoms a lot. I grew up watching a lot of TV. So all those formats, just make me feel it's like settling into a chair. I know that's the trashy answer, but like I said, I'm trashy. Dream boy, you're my only dream boy. Dream boy, you're my only dream boy.
Bird in the House House had songs that eventually ended up in the Color Movies album. So when you go and listen to the album, for instance, where you think about the album, you can't go back and change the album. However, you could change the songs probably every night when you were doing Birthday House. So is that experience surreal in a way? You know, like seeing like, hey, I created something, and here's a medium where I can change it, and here's another medium where it's like set in stone forever.
Yeah, I'm the son of a painter. My father's a painter, and he's quite a good painter. But I like making a thing, you know. Because the thing about painting is, and I paint, but just as a hobby. But like, if you make a painting, you make a thing. And the thing about an album is that it's a thing. It's really satisfying when you record a song and you have a definitive recording of that song. But then you go and, like a dummy, you put them in a musical theater piece where they do change, and in fact they have to change to make sense for context. You know, like you got to do certain things, you have to change certain lyrical lines. So that bugs me. Honestly, like it bugs me when I finish a song and then I have to completely take it apart to make it work in another. I'm like, why don't I just write another song? But this song is perfect. And it's just because I'm such a kind of, I hate to admit this, but naturally I'm a control freak and I like things in their lines.
So you're going to be working on an audio drama for Night Vale Presents. What excites you the most about the idea of audio dramas and taking a musical, you know, without visuals?
I mean, I think that it's a chance to record, like to make a thing. Again, it's like making the thing of telling a story. Just make, like when you're on stage, things happen. You don't really get to pick the best version of things, but having that same control that you would have in a recording studio making an album, but for a story, you know, it's more like I can arrive at things like picture lock for a movie. Like, I mean, I can really lock things in and get things. I'm just rambling, but yeah, it's because it's closer to making a movie. I can make a thing, you know, that really, really works, and I can pick at it until it's perfect.
I told you, Zoe's been dead for months. Give me your keys, and I'll show you.
I didn't. Jennifer grabbed the keys from me, and she walked up to the door, and she started trying them, and the third one worked.
Why is it important to be doing art in 2018 as a queer artist?
I think I have such a drive to do art, just personally. It's kind of always been what I do. That like taking a minute and thinking like, why is it important? Like, for like from an outside angle that I do art is kind of a different question for me because I've always just had no other choice. But I think like obviously there's something shifting, and I hope it continues to shift in the way that more marginalized voices are getting more platforms. And I'm, you know, like I am queer, but I'm also like a white man, a white cisgendered man. So like I have one pretty big you know, marginalized card, but there are people with a whole hand, and so I think everybody's coming to a place where people can start to really they're deconstructing the systems of oppression that have been holding certain people back or silencing them, and starting to try to fix them and rebalance it.
So Jupiter's Lifeless Moons is going to be part of the very last Coil Festival, which makes me so sad. Not for you, but for the festival being the last. But what's it like for you as, you know, as an artist to do Coil at PS 122, where it should be its home?
I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped to be here in this new building. I'm super pumped to be part of the organization that is PS 122. I'm super like pumped to be here under the, you know, under the umbrella of the Ethel Eichelberger Award, because Ethel was so important to this community. I'm super pumped to be in the last Coil. I mean, that's an honor, but kind of a bummer. I'm excited to be here, and it feels like I've been in New York 7 years this week, and it feels like a really great anniversary present. You know, like this. I'm really honored. So, and you should absolutely come see it. Please come see me and my wonderful team. I have so many lovely people working on this thing at PS 122, January 12th through the 17th at the Coil Festival, Jupiter's Lifeless Moons.
Thank you, Dane, and break a leg.